Hello everyone. Very messy background, I apologise. I really need to clean my room. It got turned into an absolute pit when I was packing for Ultra, and yeah, I've just not had a chance to catch up. I got a new mirror as well, which I don't know if this is just going to be so distracting in the background, but when I tell you the lighting there is like phenomenal. For, like photos of my makeup and stuff, oh my god. I'm only doing this like 4 or 5 years late, like no big deal. Let's continue my decade series. I have already done like, I think the 1920s all the way up to the 80s, I believe. So today we're doing a 90s inspired look. I've been listening to 90s bangers all morning. I'm feeling inspired. I'm just gonna do some kind of like slightly, I don't know if it's gonna be grungy, but you know, a bit of the 90s, like thin brow, maybe mixing like the cool tone eyes, like the whites, taupes, and then like maybe a warmer tone lip or like maybe something frosty. I don't know. We're doing the matte skin as well. We'll see how skinny we can get the brows. Obviously thin brows were like super 90s. I don't want to make mine any skinnier than they currently are because I've already made them like a lot skinnier lately. Slightly kind of smoky pencil eyeliner, high contrast. To start us off, I'm literally going to just go all over with my foundation and I'm going to figure out my eyebrows in a bit. Just going to do a little bit of Low Recipe blur drops. Got a massive pimple popping out right here, don't know why. And I'm just going to use a little bit of eye cream around my eye area just to make sure that I'm nice and hydrated. A little bit of lash serum. Let's try this out. The base brush from Huda Beauty. The shade I use in the House Labs foundation is called Light Neutral 160. It's like definitely on, it's not a light shade, but like, you know, when I've got fake tan on and stuff, it's a little bit light. It's kind of like my perfect in between fake tan and no fake tan shade, which is like where I'm at right now. Like I have a little bit of fake tan on, but not a lot. Although on my hands, it's like all gone. So this is gonna look wrong, but oh well. So I'm going straight over top the eyebrows like what I used to do back in the day. This is weird. Oh, they already look so skinny. I forget how much I've plucked them. Wow, whoa. Well, there's half my work done for me, I guess. Now, I'm not claiming this look to be like historically accurate. Like, I mean, I do my best, but we're having fun with it. I feel like generally most of my decade series videos get a really good response. I mean, yeah, like I'm not a friggin' perfect makeup artist vibe person, just doing what I do. And like all I remember from 90s makeup was my mum's like frosty lipstick and blue jumbo eye pencils, and I'm not doing blue jumbo eye pencils today. I'm afraid that cool tones have caught up with me and now I'm literally obsessed, and I've worn cool tones so many times lately after literally barely wearing them for the past like 10 years. I'm avoiding my immediate eye area, like under eye area and eyelid, because I'll do concealer and stuff over there. And I'm gonna powder really well to get that matte 90s look. Do you reckon Louis like relaxed in the background? Do you know some mornings like when I'm filming short form content and I'm just blasting music, he'll just be in the back just chilling. Like he's so used to me just blasting music, bless him. I do not force him to come in here. In fact, I usually prefer when he's not in here because sometimes he just whinges and makes lots of noise and like I'm trying to film. But lately he's just been so chill and just loving sitting in the background. And like also usually he'd rather be with Hamish. So I mean, I guess I'll just take the love where I can get it. I'm gonna switch things up today. Let's use Shade Light from Tarte Shape Tape. I definitely don't think 90s makeup was really focused on like a super bright under eye, so I'm not doing anything like too much lighter than my skin tone. It should blend in pretty well. It looks kind of light right now, but let's see. Sorry about the beanbag noises, old mate's wriggling. Here we go. See how it all kind of like blends together well? I feel like that's what we want. I'm just going to use a small amount of under eye setting powder just to set. Like this is going to be a little bit brightening. I don't want it to be too brightening, so I'm just going to use a small amount just to set that so it's not too wrinkly. I'm bringing it all down my like T-zone basically because this one's super blurring. I'll have all the products I'm using linked down below as always. Also going to use that just to set like that brow bone area. I applied quite a thick layer. Obviously we're gonna blend it out soon, but I'll just let that sit there and marinate. We're gonna set the rest of our face with a matte powder as well. How did I miss this whole area of my forehead, by the way? Can you see that? What the heck was I doing? I think it's the way like my lighting was hitting my forehead. Like I just couldn't see that spot. That's... Really? Okay. Shakes. So long. Light. Miracle Flawless. My jumbo face brush. I love this brush. And I'm really not being shy with the powder. Like I feel like we need to be matte. We've got a matte finish setting spray to melt those powders in, but maintain that like matte finish. I don't want like anything too glowy. That just jizzed all over my forehead so hard. The following pumps are like so finely misty, but that first one was just like, anyway. I feel like blush just was not a popular thing. Obviously some people wore some and la la la, but I feel like the complexion was just so plain. Sometimes a little bit of bronzer, a little bit of like contour vibes, but nothing crazy. I mean, Posh Spice rocked the bronzer and I love her look. But yeah, so many of these looks are just like plain skin. And if there is any glow, it looks like skin. Like it looks like oil. It doesn't look like makeup. The Pam Anderson look, like I feel like maybe she has like a bronzy rosy blush. Cameron Diaz as well, like a really natural blush. Oh my gosh. I feel like I need a bronzer that's not too warm. You know, I love a warm bronzer. We need something a little bit more toned down. I think I'll do that first. I think I'll do Parquet Princess today. Kind of dabbing it like in a C shape, like across the cheek, and then just because I like to shape my forehead, we're going to do a little bit up here like this. And then normally I would do my blush at the end of a video and at the end of my routine in general, because I feel like blush, I don't know, like I like to kind of match it to what else I've got going on, but I almost feel like I want to put it on now, so I give it time to like settle in, sink in, and figure out kind of what kind of look I want to do, get a vibe for that look. So I don't want it to be too full on. Like I feel like if I put it on now, it gives it time to marinate. Is that weird? And I really need to look for a blush that kind of like melts in and looks very rosy, I think, is the vibe we're going to go for. Like natural vibe. How do we feel about this? Could be the move. This is called She's Seductive from Patrick Tar. I've literally just tapped it one time on that same brush as my bronzer. Okay, yeah, I feel like this is good. It's kind of giving like the Cameron Diaz picture. I'm going to do a little bit more because it will fade a little bit by the time I keep blending everything else on my skin and like do my makeup. It'll settle. I'm just a little over the nose. Oh, I really want to highlight, but I feel like 90s is not about highlighting. I feel like 2000s would be fun because that's when you got to do like, you know, glittery like frost bomb. I feel like 90s is a bit more like, I don't know, effortless chic, grungy, contrasty, like the I don't want to look like I tried too hard to do my makeup, but I did vibes. I feel like that blush is perfect for the look we're going for. You know what I really want is like a dark grey smudgy eyeliner. I don't know if I have a dark grey eyeliner. Let me see. I'm gonna mix together a little bit of white and grey and may end up hating this and just like switching over to black or something, but let's try it. It's easy enough to change. And naturally, I don't think winged liner was really a thing. Just kind of smoky in the lash line and everything instead. Icy Nude Huda Beauty palette, the shade Poised, this grey colour. Actually, no, I'm going to start with wait, what does it say? Oneself. I was like, on self? Oneself. I see a lot of eyeshadow that's kind of like winged up and around, so I'm just going to kind of follow that like circular sort of shape. Just like that. I'm just taking that light grey colour like on the lid a little. Next I'm going to take the shade Poised, which is the first one I was going to use. I'm going to just rub that right on top, focusing it especially on the lash line. I just feel like there's a lot of smoky lash lines going on in the 90s, like whether it's top, bottom, just in general. So we're just gonna kind of like smoky it out. I don't feel like colors were kind of like isolated. I don't feel like there was like a lot of like different crease and lid and la la la. Like I feel like it was just kind of one or two shades like smashed everywhere. Obviously not every time, but I'm just saying like in general, like we're generalizing it. Oh man, this would look sick with a friggin' winged eyeliner though. I'm just going in with a bit more of like the darker grey, mixing that into my brush, and I'm gonna darken things up just slightly. I'm just gonna blend that with my finger. Because let's be honest, most people in the 90s would have been using sponges in their fingers, surely. Anyone else born in 1992? Just taking that lighter grey colour and just popping that all over the lid. And then I'm going to go over that with a bit of white. I don't want the lid to be like pure white, but we've got this like white avalanche shade right here. Patting that right on top. And I'm not worried about this being super perfect, otherwise I'd use like a white base, but obviously I feel like the kind of throw on factor is part of the 90s, that grungy vibe. Like, I don't know, I just feel like it's like that sexy vibe. I don't know. Do we want to do any black? I don't know, maybe. But now I'm just going to try carving out a little bit of that brow with this white, and then I'm going to fill in the brows, see where we're at. This is just a eye base in Rumor Zero from P. Louise. I did have a white Danessa Myricks, but I can't find it, so that's good. Oh no. Shit. How do I keep doing this? All up my brush. Blend. Louis wants to come back in. 1 second. What's wrong? Come on then. He's getting in the beanbag by the window now because the sun's moved, you see. You've got to follow the sun. Also, I feel like the brows have to look a little bit like choppy because no one had perfect brows in the 90s. Well, actually some people did, but you know what I mean? Like, I feel like it was part of the charm. Completely effed up my makeup, so I've had to like go over top with grey, and now I'm going to go over with white, and we're just going to have to do like a little bit more of an intense white highlight than I was originally planning for, and a little bit more of an intense crease than I was wanting. Smashing together the light grey and the white on that lid again, and then I'm kind of like bringing it up and just blending everything together. Woo! A little bit of white on the inner corner. Just slapping it in there. Just going to test the waters with a little bit of black in my waterline tight line. Blending it in with the brush that I used, the grey, and pushing it into the lashes. I feel like this is kind of Britney as well. I feel like the brows were often a little bit darker. I'm not going to go super dark, but I'll do just like a little bit, I don't know, darker than what they look right now. This is the Novo little brow thing in the shade 2. I'm gonna brush all the hairs into like one direction first. Normally I would like shape them really nicely, carve them out, you know, do all of that, but I guess I just kind of go for it. I don't know. Genuinely feel like it was basically like if you were filling in your brows in the 90s, it was like draw it. Like, we're not talking brush strokes, we're talking like just... I just plucked some hairs out to make it better. Terrible idea, but it's done. Don't worry, I'm not going to go this thin normally with my brows. This is just for the 90s video. I know some people are concerned about the thin brows. I'm loving my brows thinner, loving them thinner, love, 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 love it. But this is a bit much. I'm just going to use this super fluff because I want all of the hairs to kind of be coated in something coloured so that they look a little bit more dramatic. But I don't want them to go thick, so I'm kind of brushing them in a straight line as much as I can. Now I'm just pressing white eyeshadow right along, like there's just like a little layer of skin and like hairs that I'm trying to like cover with the white eyeshadow to make it a little bit more seamless and like skinny. Kind of love the white though. It's reminding me of when I used to do NYX Milk Jumbo Eye Pencil like on my brow bone. Okay, I'm gonna put on some mascara and lashes. I'm just gonna use some like individual lashes. I feel so dry. Be right back. The lashes are on. I've just done very thin and wispy and like natural vibes because I feel like obviously false lashes were like a thing, but I do feel like they were very like, you know, they weren't like the center of attention. They're still drying, so I might have to like fix them up a little bit. And the mascara I used with them is just this e.l.f. Lash and Roll. Got that on my lower lashes as well. I just did a decent coat. I feel like they emphasize their beauty marks. Like it's like 90s supermodel glam, even though I'm definitely not a supermodel. I'm just gonna do a small amount on that one. I don't think I need more blush. I think this like small amount's good. The lips, I feel like they often did like warm lips, like cool eyes warm lips, or like frosty lips. I think I'm gonna start with Wifey lip pencil, kind of like a good in between. I just need to sharpen this. I don't think the lips were like overdrawn, but at the same time I'm just gonna overdraw mine because it's me we're talking about. My lips are so dry. My lip pencil is not going on smoothly because like there's so much powder and crap on there. I should have moisturized them before this, but oh well, I'm committing. Okay, I will remove the powder off my lips in the center though before we continue. This is my perfect, like my lips but better. Like you can barely see where my natural lip color is and the lip liner is, do you know what I mean? That's actually just massive slay. Let's see if I've got something kind of frosty. I don't actually know if I do. It looks like I need to buy some frosty lipsticks for funsies because yeah, I couldn't find anything. I could find like glossy lips, like glossy shimmery and things like that. But it's really more like about the frost I feel. So I think I'll just go matte instead. This is the Maximal Sleek Satin in Flesh Pot. And then I want it to be very, very matte. So I'm just going to take a little bit of IDGAF from this Huda palette. Looks like this. And then back in with Wifey to blend. Alright, well this is my 90s inspired makeup. I think me as a kid, like I would have thought I looked cool. I actually like really dig this eye makeup. If I did better brows and I did winged liner and stuff, I would absolutely rock this. This lip is everything. I'm obsessed. I would love like more bronzer, maybe even a little contour, maybe, you know, bits and pieces. I do prefer a little bit more detail on the face, and like obviously I'm in my highlighter era again as well. Like I would love to highlight, but I just feel like that's not what the 90s was all about. How do I manage to get so filthy when I do my makeup? I will never understand. I'm gonna get my ass into gear and I'm gonna start planning my 2000s look. So if there's certain kind of aspects of 2000s makeup you really want to see me do, please comment down below. I would really appreciate it. And thank you to everyone who leaves comments. It really helps me out. I will talk to you guys in my next video. Bye bye.